selalu sayang kali anak. Wala talmizu anfusakum, jangan pernah membenci mencela anaknya sendiri. Nggih ngapunten, monggo sareng-sareng donga muga-muga warga RW 10 khususnya Desa PP selamanya barokah. Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma shalli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Allahumma ighfir lana dzunubana wa li walidaina warhamhuma kama rabbayana shighara. Ya Allah, mugi-mugi sedaya ahli kubur, sedaya leluhur ingkang sampun sumari khususnya RW 10 diampuni dosane kali Allah, diterima sedaya amal saya ini. Ya Allah, mugi-mugi sedaya warga RW 10 barokah rumah tanggane, barokah rezekine, barokah nyambut gawene, barokah anak-anake, barokah dunya, barokah akhirat. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum taqabbal ya karim, minal aidin wal faizin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Terima kasih, mohon maaf. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sini kita Pak.
Loh, yo iki.
Budaya lestari, Oktober singos hari Kediri putih.
Ayo rek, kuyuk makaryo.
Jawa Timur tambah joyo. CTP 100% pemimpin Jawa Timur, 100% menghibur rakyat Pak.
TTP 100% gawe wong Jawa Timur.
CTP 100% Jawa
Yo di Jawa Timur, ragam warna-warni jadi melebur. Timur kembali berkumpul menjadi satu. JTV bantu lakukan filosofi dari tanah Jawi, semua beraksi. Ratusan MC dan dedikasi, semua seni ada di sini.
Jawa Timur pancen gone seni.
Riak truk campur sari,
Tepung Ngawi sampai Banyuwangi,
sampai Banyuwangi, ragam budaya lestari.
Ojo Pahit Singosari berdiri putih. Ayo rek, kuyuk makaryo, Jawa Timur tambah joyo.
JTP 100% gone wong Jawa Timur.
100% menghibur rakyat Pak. JTP 100%
the heart of central Jakarta. Good morning to all of you out here in Indonesia, out there in Southeast Asia, and across the world. Welcome to this morning's episode of the C Morning Show here from the C Today News Network. My name is Paul Paloli, greeting you as we always do, bright and early at 6 a.m. And thank you for joining us. As for the next 3 hours, we will be sharing with you all of today's latest updates from Indonesia and around the world. And it's a weekday, so we've got all your daily morning sports, entertainment, and business roundups as well. We've got book talk coming up and a special guest to talk about her latest book. And of course, I've got my two lovely co-hosts joining me this morning. Back here at the desk is Tommy for the second day in a row. And we've got Shafira here on my right. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
Happy, what is it today? Wednesday? Yeah, hump day. Oh, yeah, it's the brain's a little slow in the middle of the week. Yes, happy hump day, everyone.
Happy hump day. And again, good morning. I'm Tommy Chokro. And in addition to what Paul just said, we have a special book talk today. And make sure you stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, you can always connect with us on social media at See Today's News on Instagram, X, and YouTube.
Yes, and my name is Shafira. I would like to greet our viewers that are now able to tune in from Foxtel's Flash Australia, Macau Cable TV Channel 84, Vision Philippines Channel 58, Air Cable Philippines, and Singtel Singapore Channel 15, also StarHub Channel 720. All right, let's start the show with our headlines.
An Israeli strike recently hit a 5-story building in northern Gaza, killing at least 34, while another strike hit a refugee camp in central Gaza, killing tens and injuring many more.
Downpours have caused widespread flooding across a vast region of eastern Spain on Tuesday, and at least 4 individuals are believed to be missing.
The Attorney General's office recently named former Indonesian Trade Minister Thomas Lembong as a suspect in an alleged corruption case concerning sugar imports.
And Manchester United is imminent on hiring Sporting CP manager Ruben Amorim as their new manager after Erik ten Hag was sacked on Monday. All right, so let's get started in our first segment here. Of course, excuse me, as we always do with world news, we begin with our top story where smoke was seen rising from northern and central Gaza on Tuesday as fighting continued between Israeli troops and Hamas militants.
An Israeli strike recently hit a 5-story building in northern Gaza and killed at least 34. While another strike hit a refugee camp in central Gaza, killing tens and injuring more.
Israel launched a strike against the Nusayrat refugee camp in central Gaza, which killed at least 10 and injured 20 others. The dead and injured have been taken to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Balah.
Meanwhile, the Israeli military said that they cannot comment without the exact coordinates of the strike. The strike on Tuesday took place as Israeli forces intensified their operations in northern Gaza.
According to local health authorities, the Israel-Hamas war has claimed the lives of more than 43,000 Palestinians, while around 90% of the 2.3 million residents in Gaza have been displaced.
مش عارف جيت انا قالوا لي بالصومي جيت انا قصب مستشهدين الاثنين وقصب جوا العمليات وقصب الثانيه برجليها رايحين يجيبوا منبز وحليب.
And also, Israel has launched thousands of airstrikes across Lebanon over the past 5 weeks. They claim that they were targeting Hezbollah's operatives, infrastructures, and weapons.
Debris littered the Bekaa Valley in Lebanon on Tuesday after Israeli strikes killed at least 60 and wounded 58 more in various locations a day earlier.
According to the National News Agency, the highest death toll on Monday was found in the town of Sal Alak in the Baalbek province, where 16 were killed. Meanwhile, an Israeli airstrike in Ram killed 9, including a mother and her 4 children. It also left 1 other person wounded.
Israel has intensified bombardment in the Bekaa Valley, as well as southern Lebanon and Beirut's southern suburbs over the past several weeks. This was done as part of an offensive against the Hezbollah militant group that has also killed hundreds of civilians.
The attacks were directed against civilian areas. Meanwhile, a lack of equipment had hampered search and rescue efforts. Peacekeepers around the world recalled stories regarding Israel's attacks at their headquarters in mid-October.
And they also shared their personal statements in regards to the disturbances of peace.
United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, or UNIFIL, peacekeepers shared stories regarding the attack by the Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, on October the 10th at the UNIFIL headquarters in Nakura, Lebanon. An Indonesian peacekeeper who is on duty to monitor the situation from Observation Post 14 reported that the attack occurred at 4 a.m. from Amir Kavatang, owned by the IDF, injuring 2 personnel on site. The incident came after Israeli military issued a warning and demanded UNIFIL peacekeepers to leave the Lebanon-Israel border early October.
Kami melihat ada laser mulai membidik kami tugu 15. Setelah berkoordinasi dengan tugu 15, memang laser tersebut mengarah kami. Dan kemudian kami langsung melaporkan kepada satuan atas, dan tidak lama kemudian terjadi luncuran dari merkapah dan mengenai tubuh kami. Setelah itu meledak dan kami terpental ke atas, dan kemudian kami turun dari lantai 4, lompat ke lantai 3. Dan setelah itu kami turun lagi, lompat ke lantai 2, dan kami keluar. Kami berguling dari atas ke bawah, guling, kemudian kami lari ke arah. Setelah itu kami dijemput dan melaksanakan evakuasi menuju rumah sakit.
Smokes were also seen from a paddy area near Observation Post 6, followed by an explosion that injured 2 guards at the post.
OP6 ගේ රාජකාරිය බාරගත් රාජකාරිය කරමින් සිටින අවස්ථාවේ එතන පිපිරීමක් සිදු වුණා. ඒ පිපිරීමෙන් මට ඇවිල්ලා මම කොන්ද ප්‍රදේශයට වැදුනා කෑල්ලක්. ඒ වැදිලා ඊට පස්සේ නිකම්ම මාව ඉන්පිල් රෝවල් වෙත ගෙනල්ලා බාර දුන්නා. ඊපස්සේ ඉන්පිල් රෝවලෙන් මට මට වැඩිවිර ප්‍රතිකාර කරන්න ප්‍රේෂන් කරලා ඒ ප්‍රතිකාර ටික කරා. ඒ කරලා දැන් මම සුව තත්ත්වයෙන් ඉන්නවා. මට මාත් එක්ක ආපු අනිත් මගේ සිගාගියන් සමග මට ඉදිරියේදී රාජකාරී කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් කියලා මම.
The attacks disrupted internet access at the UNIFIL headquarters and restricted the movement of peacekeepers.
The internet is here is also off since that the building which provides our accommodation internet is just was hit by the airstrike, and also the limitation of a movement. It's really give a very big impact for us since that here there's a lack of water, lack of food. So if there is a store which is open, it can causes a kind of panic buying.
Despite the attacks, the peacekeepers remain committed to their mission and resume their efforts to maintain peace in Lebanon.
Presently, each peacekeeper around is anxious due to the uncertainty of the situation here. We all are doing everything to keep ourselves motivated.
Still believe in UNIFIL and still do my best as a peacekeeper, because I do believe that UNIFIL can still present the peace and give the support for its country itself.
It is reported that UNIFIL peacekeepers were also allegedly shot by the IDF on October the 22nd during their duty at the post near Daira in southern Lebanon before withdrawing from the site. UNIFIL then called on the IDF and relevant parties to ensure the safety and security of UN personnel, property and premises. They added any attack on peacekeepers is a grave violation of the international humanitarian law and the UN Security Council Resolution 1701.
Okay, this entire situation in the Middle East is already ongoing way more than a year, but let's focus on Lebanon a little bit. UNIFIL positions itself have come under attack at least 20 times since Israel's first ground incursion in Lebanon began in early October, including by direct fire, and an incident on October the 13th where 2 Israeli tanks burst through the gates of a UNIFIL base, according to the UN. Now, Israeli forces have also fired on several frontline UNIFIL positions. Now, United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, or UNIFIL, says 8 of its peacekeepers were wounded after a rocket, likely fired by Hezbollah or an affiliated group, hit its headquarters in southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, Austria's Federal Ministry of Defense said the attack injured Austrian soldiers in Camp Nakura, condemning the attack and adding that it was, quote, currently not possible